What's going on? So I'm going to take it back. I got to ask a real good question. It's about two shows that came out in 1980. Two shows that I used to watch. That's Incredible and Real People. Oh, wow. That's incredible. Wow. Fran Tarkenton, Kathy Lee Crosby, and John Davidson. Wow. That's taking you back. You know, there were always these kind of shows. I guess you could say they were reality shows, but they weren't dominant. They were big, but they were almost seemed kind of gimmicky. But the thing was, is that you had the Dallases, you had the 60 Minutes, you had the Dynasties, you had uh, different shows, and they weren't seen as the end all be all because you still had what we call TV stars. You still had people that people wanted to see. That's the difference between that 80s and then that 90s reality show, which became, the end all be all. Wasn't always the case. Now, That's Incredible was like people displaying rare, defined talents and, you know, um, it's always been something theatrical that you could see on TV, but the reality of it and how it kind of hit. So that's what it was. I mean, that's Incredible had some displays where people were like, like held in captive and suspense and so on and so forth. So that's what we got all excited about, and it for its time period was very distinctive and and all that. So that's what made that so cool. So that was one of the things about it. But Real People kind of tapped into it too about if you could do something distinctive now, somewhere along the line, America's Got Talent and these other shows come along, excuse me, they come along and they capture the imagination. They become like the kind of shows that people want to see, people doing heroic activities and juggling cups and the kind of stuff that took a life of its own. It had always been there. It always been there. It's a showmanship. But one thing about TV, it pushes the envelope a little bit more. But it's always been kind of there that there's these kind of shows that were there. There's nothing new under the sun, as they say. But there's always something to see that you hadn't seen before. And these shows were, you know, pretty groundbreaking for their time. Um, I used to watch both of them. They were on for a short time, but the people on there were noteworthy. I mean, Cassie Lee Crosby was pretty big in TV for a minute. Fran Tarkenton